Can you speak on? I know you talked on Bow Wow a little bit earlier, but I know you had mentioned that there was something that happened contractually that allowed him to go from death row to so def. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Our hero. That's why I teach you guys. Deal with criminal attorneys. Let them be criminal attorneys. Entertainment attorneys be entertainment attorney. Divorce attorneys be divorce attorneys, and so on and so on. Suge was trying to look out and help out because, of course, we needed a lot of criminal attorneys at the time. And he let Johnny Cochran firm handle the paperwork on Little Bow Wow. Johnny Cochran dropped the ball, and guess what he didn't do? He didn't take and get the contract certified by a judge. What you mean, Reggie? What are you talking about? Any juvenile under the age of 17 years old cannot sign into an agreement, any type of contract in the state of California, without it being certified and approved by a judge. And so even though Johnny Cochran did the paperwork and the agreement and they got all the advances and everything, because the judge didn't sign off on the agreement, Lil Bow Wow was not officially ever signed to death row. And that also hurt us in the corrupt matter as well. But that was from the attorneys not knowing. And Johnny Cochran, to be honest, knew he had messed up. And when Suge came home and was down on his luck, I remember Johnny Cochran shipping some money and looking out for Suge a few times. Matter of fact, he gave him $50,000 around the time to help bury Buntree. And he shot some money to him around that time. So yeah, that's what happened to why Bow Wow was able to sign to So Def, and the contract with Death Row got void.
Okay. People always want to know other stories about some of the other artists. Can I name a couple artists and you just tell me the first story or the first thought that comes to mind when you hear their name? Just different artists. I'll just name a couple different ones and you can tell me, if any stories come to mind when I mention their name. Anything about Quik? People always want to know more about DJ Quik.
DJ Quik. DJ Quik is a hell of a producer. Y'all want to put him on Dre status, he's not. But he's good, better than most, especially when it comes to mixing a song. Y'all say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, Reggie. Especially my boy DJ Gary and all of them who loves DJ Quik. Well, I'll point y'all to something like even 97 or 98 what Quik did. He had this artist called True Hurts. He took True Hurts to Dre to mix down and master it. I seen an interview where he said when he got that song back, he didn't even recognize it because Dre had put so much work and did such a great job on that song that True Hurts had back in the day. And if he was better than Dre or thought he was better than Dre, you think he would allow Dre to touch that song like that? No, he wouldn't. But Quik did mix down most of All Eyes on Me because of the things that was going on with Death Row and Dre at the time. Was starting to brew, hadn't brewed yet because by evidence, for those who say that he was, we shot the California Love remix and Dre directed and was on scene at that video shoot. And also the video, of course, that he did with Pop. I think he also did two of America's Most Wanted. Not for sure. But Dre was around February, March. I think it was about March when the exit was starting to go down. Also, people don't realize that Quik wasn't for the drama. He didn't like the drama, even though he was always the first one to throw a red rag around the microphone. And I want to challenge y'all. I want to teach y'all something because a lot of you guys, you young kids, know about the sea walking and the crip walking. But there's a video out there with Dub C and DJ Quik. Learn the difference between beat walking and blood walking and crip walking, y'all. And look at those two. Those are the two best guys in doing those different walks, in my opinion, that are artists, that are not just, dancers or anything like that. You watch those two, man, they do a great job. Also, another thing about Quik that never been put out there, and I just like to put things out there so y'all can know. Quik was going through a lot of issues, beating himself up in 95, 96, because he had a traffic accident and he ran over and killed a young child, and that messed with him a lot. He had a protege by the name of G1 that worked with him a lot. He was in the studio dinner every day. He was not signed to Death Row as an artist. He was signed to Death Row as a producer. He was a managed as well by, it says Suge Knight. Sharita gets mad when I say that, so I don't say Nightlife Entertainment. But Big Jake was mainly the street manager of DJ Quik in a group called Second to None. DJ Quik is somebody that I like and respect a lot, and have nothing but good things to say about Quik, even though we had some issues and run-ins later.
So Danny Boy did the interview on Art on one of the clips. I don't know if you were able to see it, but he spoke about Keyshawn Johnson's wife and Suge having a relationship. Do you know the backstory with that?
Yeah. Well, it's a little longer story than that, but what happened was Keyshawn Johnson is a football player from the LA area who I kind of like. Matter of fact, he's a gentleman who draft party we went to that got us in the House of Blues. My brother-in-law and a couple of his guys was like his best friends at the time, and we was at that party and they were all talking, and the guy that threw the party had a relationship with House of Blues, got us in. And that's how we ended up performing at the House of Blues on July the 4th. So anyway, I'll throw a little trivia out. What do Reggie Wright, Nas, and Keyshawn Johnson all have in common? I'll answer y'all that trivia in the comment section. The hint would be she appeared on an album that shouldn't have been on. She should have never been on. And people always wonder, how did she get that placement? All right. But anyway, and so what happened was when Suge went to prison, I don't know how Stormy didn't have a place of her own at that time, because she did. I don't know where Stormy was staying, but anyway, Suge elected to put Stormy because, she had this baby little Suge, who was probably 1 or 2 at the time. And Suge had this nice penthouse because, nobody ever thought he was going to jail past that probation, hearing. You couldn't have told us on February the 28th or March the 1st that he was going to get violated. Couldn't have told us that. But he did. But so he wanted to keep that spot on Wilshire, the penthouse. Because it was, I think he, to be honest, was the only black that was living in the penthouse at the time. And so he's like, hey, put Stormy and Lil Suge over there and they can stay there in my spot. Suge has a wine cooler, right, at the house, full of nice, expensive liquor, because he was starting to collect wine and stuff like that. And so we had got word that Stormy was welcoming guys to the neighborhood with his wine, me putting it nicely. And she sent a bottle to Shaq and a bottle to Keyshawn. So somehow word had got back. It was like, hey, this is what's going on. Get that bitch out of our house. Get her. And so we put her in another spot because he was disappointed and hurt about that. So when he got out, so he always had a bad taste in his mouth for Keyshawn Johnson. So now he gets out, and somehow I think Keyshawn had a motorsports company or something like that, some type of thing where they were altering cars, something like a 310 out here. And his wife had this little shop, and she was kind of running it and being up there. So I remember Suge went and got something done to his motorcycle, where he got his seat done, all nice. I think in some Louis Vuitton leather or some type of, you know, expensive skin that he got his seat done in, and he got up under Keyshawn's wife, and he eventually pulled her because he never forgot about Keyshawn and the alleged rumors about Stormy, and he got Keyshawn. And I remember Keyshawn having to. She used to tell Suge back then that he was seeing psychological treatment from the NFL behind that. It had bothered Keyshawn that much about her being in a relationship with Suge. And so,
Okay.
yeah, that's what happened, and that's what Danny Boy was speaking on.